from the lighter side of pest control. This is the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with your hosts, Jack and Brad.
Hello once again and welcome live from the beautiful Cool Font Hotel and Resort in beautiful West Virginia. It is I, Brad Harvey. Along with me, actually sitting right next to me this time, is Jack Starry. Jack, how's it going?
Doing well, my friend. And how are you enjoying the beautiful environs of the hills of West Virginia?
For the first time in recent memory, Jack, I am truly at peace. I've had such a great time here. My wife, Mrs. Overlord, has had a wonderful time as well. Got her a nice spa treatment in and is currently enjoying the saltwater pool here at our luxurious accommodations and just having a great time. And, Jack, I want to really appreciate you inviting me out here.
Oh, anytime. I tell you, got pretty deep in the cups last night, man.
I'm telling you what can I say? It was a good time, you know, good time, good friends, had a nice roaring fire going, had a belly full of steak. And, you know, it was the perfect storm. So I just really enjoyed myself.
Oh, yeah, we ate pretty good. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm. So slept like a baby. I was up every 2 hours crying and pissing all over myself.
Yummy.
Yeah. So, hey, having a great time here at these accommodations, but, you know, all of us cheese bags out there have at least one horrifying experience in the hospitality industry, be it a shitty hotel manager, a shitty hotel owner. And that's what we're going to be talking tonight. So welcome to Hotel of Horror.
Hotel of Horror.
Tales from the Crawl Space. So, and as usual, reached out to Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group, and they did not disappoint. So, got a couple of good stories. Now, just a quick caveat. If I don't get to your story, I want to apologize. I'm kind of working on a shoestring here. I'm out of my element. I don't have my printer. So I've got some stories. We're going to read them off to you. And I got a couple of my own, and I know Jack's got a good one up his sleeve as well.
Yeah. I got one. I made a post last night asking people for last minute stories, and Brandon Hartloff sent in a great one. He says, I had an extended stay hotel that had a room pop hot for bed bugs. Well, the general manager was new, so he wanted to replace all the furniture in the room, and I thought that issue wasn't that bad. Only found less than 10. We do our thing, room is clear for about 4 weeks. Then get called back because they found about 10 more dead since they got into the product. I retreat the room. The general manager wanted to check the neighboring room just to be safe. He does a courtesy check of the room. He goes in, moves a blanket on the bed, and sees one. Their policy is to vacate the room and call us. He starts the procedure with the customer about prepping their room. These people have been in this room for over 3 years at this point. This is a one-bed room, and they had their adult son sleeping on an air mattress on the floor. They do their prep for my service. I get in there with the maintenance guy. We start removing the headboard. On the back of the headboard, there's a 6-inch wide spot of bed bugs. The back of the headboard and the cleat on the wall were completely covered in bed bug and debris. We place the headboard back and leave the room. I break the news to the general manager that he unfortunately had to let a good, quiet, paying customer go. They leave, and I get to go to town on the room. Everything not screwed in the wall was tossed in the room. Even the floor tiles were pulled. I was in there doing my thing. After that first day, I'm out front of my house, stripping down. I was grossed out after that initial treatment. My kids met me at the door with a trash bag. I eventually spent 3 months in this room doing at least once a week visits. Oh. They even tore the wall behind the bed where the headboard is 4 foot up from the floor. They were everywhere and anywhere in this room. There was a minimum of 5,000 bed bugs in this room. I still get grossed out thinking about this room. These guests never once complained about the bed bugs. I know James Schultz was on the other end of the phone while I was treating this room several times. That's nasty.
Yeah, hats off to Schulte there for offering moral support on that one. It's like, we've got a lot of stories here, but not every story you can smell. I could smell that story.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I've had bed bugs that bad. But my nasty story wasn't a hotel one. It was that heat treatment I told you about with that poor disabled individual.
Yeah.
That we'll do a bed bug episode. That'll come up.
Yeah. Cause I've got a couple of really good bed bug stories. And one of them was when we first started, noticing bed bugs in central Indiana. And, it was a team effort on this one. They were showing up in places I had no idea that they would even get to. So it was something, but yeah, we'll touch on that in another episode. But yeah, you guys, I don't know how we keep from just, going somewhere and weaving baskets for the rest of our lives, considering the things that we see and, hear and smell. But, some of these things, it's like, oh my God. Rick Wilhide, he's got one that all I could say was holy shit when I read it. So Rick Wilhide I was helping another tech in Frederick do a multi-story motel right off a busy interstate. The cleaning lady was going ahead of us popping doors, and we would just go in and treat real quick. About 150 rooms. First off, Jesus, 150 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes people were in them still, usually empty. I was going down one side of the hall while my coworker took the other. I walked in on a trucker who was easily 400 pounds and was passed out snoring like a log. Except this guy was naked as a jaybird, spread eagle, with a fist-shaped marital aid resting on his chest and a meth pipe still hanging out of the corner of his lip like a lit cigarette. I just quietly sprayed the corners and tried to avoid looking at him. Rick goes on to say, fuck that motel.
He was pulling a Hunter Biden.
Oh my God. He's pulling something. He's playing puppeteer with himself, it sounds like.
Got the rubber fist. Yikes.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Well, speaking of nasty sexual stuff, and we're not talking about my personal life. I used to take care of a motel. Now, for some of you older cheese bags out there, I'm sure you remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, when DC's mayor was Marion Barry. And the police department had suspected him of drug use and soliciting prostitution. And there was a sting at this hotel room that Marion Barry was, lighting up a crack pipe, acting like he didn't know. He goes, how do you light this thing? And then lights up, takes a big old toke off of it with a hooker in the room. Well, that motel is right off of New York Avenue, which is on the east side of D.C., and I used to have to do the pest control for that motel. Now, it's the kind of place, it's more like a brothel than it is a motel, and you can stand out in the parking lot when the sun starts going down, and the hookers will stand outside of the rooms on that little concrete walkway with the railing in front of all the rooms and just wave at people on the street and try to get them to come in. And it's so common there because the cops don't even bother with it. These women are soliciting. So I'm going from room to room, and it's not a really big place. I guess it's probably about 30 rooms total. And so I'd start at the top level, go down to the bottom level, go through the office, and that was it. But first of all, just being solicited by all these women of the night while you're trying to take care of the pest control in these rooms. And, well, hey, baby, I'm like, I do pest control. How much money do you think I actually have? Yeah, I'm sorry. No, thank you. I'll pass. On top of the fact that the rooms smelled like the trash can at a gynecologist's office. And absolutely just disgusting.
Jeez.
Roaches. Never had a bed bug issue there, surprisingly, but, roaches were bad, both, of the insects and, the joints laying all over the place. The smell of crack permeated the place. I don't even see why they bothered with pest control. I think it was just the health department mandate they had to abide by, because other than that, it was anything goes at that damn hotel.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. We're not under Facebook community standards here. So, that place just needed to be burnt to the fucking ground.
Yeah, because last time I said something needed to be burnt, which was bed bug furniture, I got banned from posting for, 24, 48 hours?
Yeah, about 48 hours.
Yeah.
That was a slap on the wrist. I mean, we've had guys that have been out for anywhere between 7 and 30 days. For mentioning something, not only just mentioning, something like that, but mentioning shit that we deal with every fucking day in our jobs, Yeah. So, we've got words that we can't use and it's ridiculously sucky.
Oh, I had said, I forgot, was it Candace, that made the post or something about a bed bug job? If I got the wrong person, I'm sorry.
It was Candace or Paula. It's one of those mods that we have in there.
And they said about taking all the furniture out of the house. And I said, all that furniture needs to be burned. Because, you're going to get somebody comes by and, ooh, look, a headboard, a bed frame, and picks it up, takes it home. They're going to infest their house. So Facebook gigs me for saying something needs to be burnt. And actually, I got an opportunity to respond to being banned. Mm-hmm. So I gave them this diatribe of the type of business we do and the eggs that you'll find, in the little tiny cracks and crevices of the furniture. And it could possibly reinfest somewhere else. So you need to kill it with fire. And they said, we'll review this and get back to you in 1 to 2 weeks. Motherfucker, my band's done in 48 hours.
Yeah. You're lucky to even actually get a response from them because whenever I get up on there and I try to contest something that, I may have said or posted that they thought violated their, ever moving goalpost of community standards, I would get the automated thing. We don't have time to fuck with this right now is basically what they said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hugs and kisses and zuck. So yeah, it's like, I just kind of gave up the ghost on it and, I just try to be more creative with what I have to say on here or on Facebook and, kind of go from there.
Yeah. We don't fuck the punches on here.
Yeah.
No.
So, hey, Jack, what do you say we address the 800-pound Ganesh in the room?
Oh, let's address the Ganesh.
Yes. So we're referring to the Patels.
The curried cocksuckers.
Yes. The Larry Patels, the Jack Patels, the Jay Patels, the Skippy Patels, the
Engelbert Patels.
The Norm Patels. The ones that seem to, own and manage every fucking hotel out there currently. And one of the things that on our trip down here yesterday to beautiful Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, I got the pleasure of stopping in Richmond, Indiana for a quick bite of breakfast. Across from this establishment that we ate breakfast in, me and my lovely bride, was the Motel 6 of Richmond, Indiana, which was the utter bane of my existence. And I say that because of Larry Patel, the manager there. This guy was a complete and total asshole. He was one of those guys that would, if he called to, complain about something to the office, he would immediately shit over anybody that had tits on the phone. And, so when I started actually having some guys actually running the phones, he would proceed to shit on them too. Schulte took a call from this guy and the guy started calling him a liar and cussing him out and everything. Schulte did the right thing. He hung up on the son of a bitch.
But Schulte has tits.
So Schulte has tits and they're magnificent.
I know. They're gorgeous. I've seen them. I want to touch them.
Yeah. And but he would not have slapped your hand away, Jack.
I believe it.
No,
he looks like a welcoming individual.
He is a very accommodating guy and I love him to death. But anyway, so, 2 seconds later, Mike, I look, Larry Patel's calling back. I picked him up and I read Larry the Riot Act. I said, you don't cuss at my employees. I said, that's not how it's done. I said, you got a problem. You talk to him civilly. I will talk to him whatever I want. I said, Larry, what the fuck do you want? I decided I'm going to cuss at him too. And so,
Fair's fair.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Larry, got a new guy. Larry calls. He goes, I'm going to keep you on the phone while this guy treats and I want to make sure that he does things right. And so I'm sitting there. I was like, Larry, you still there? I was like, what the hell, Larry? And he goes, okay, this guy is good. I guess he wanted to hang on the phone so he could bitch at me and bitch at the tech if the guy missed a corner or missed a crack, missed a crevice, whatever the hell. And, so I was texting the technician on there. I said, just play along with this bastard and everything will be okay. It's like, the only thing I wanted to get that tech is the hell out of that hotel.
Oh yeah.
Because, according to my supervisor, we can't walk away from money. Regardless of, how much shit we have to eat and, but we can't walk away from money. So,
oh, my bullshit meter only goes so far. I will walk the fuck away.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm telling you, man, Patels are a joke. I had one, credit card is on file. We did service for them twice a month, and the way the credit card got hit, it happened to hit for the services that were rendered 3 times in a month. They immediately shut that credit card down, and it took me 6 weeks to collect on that thing to get it all straightened out. And, we had everything laid out. This is what the charges are. I sent her a copy of the ledger, and it was still a problem, and she wouldn't pay it. And,
man.
And I was just like, I'm about ready to tell her to just go eat shit. And, I let the boss know about that, and what's the boss say? We can't walk away from money. So anyway,
I had a motel a long time ago. I ran a motel down in Culpeper, Virginia, called the Sleepy Hollow Motel. And this has nothing to do with pest control. It's just the kind of shit that happens there. It's out Culpeper, for those who don't know, is kind of out in the country, central Virginia. And we had a Hispanic pipeline crew that was staying long term. Nice guys. Didn't trash the rooms. My only argument about them was they didn't like using toilet paper. They'd wipe their ass with the washcloths and then throw it behind the toilet.
Ooh.
So we had to start charging them for washcloths. But the back row of the building, it was 2 rows, the parking lot between the 2 rows. And this one guy and his buddy had the very end room on the back row, and there was a crawl space vent that apparently someone had kicked out under the, that goes under those rooms at the end of that building. And there was a skunk that used to live under there. He never bothered anybody. Dusk and dawn, you'd see him come waddling out, go do his thing into the woods, then come back. Never bothered anybody. Never smelled it. Nothing. But I'm sleeping, and I'm supposed to answer the phone whenever it rings if someone calls the office from the rooms. So at 3:00 in the morning, the phone rings, and this gentleman goes, "Hello, senor." And he was drunk, obviously drunk the way he was talking. He goes, "Do you know that you have a skunk and he lives under the building?" I said, "Yeah, I know him. He's there. Just don't bother him. He's fine. But what if the skunk sprayed me in the eyes and I go blind?" I said, "Buddy, if you get your face close enough to a skunk's ass for him to spray you in the eyeball, you fucking had it coming. Don't call me at 3:00 in the morning drunk, worried about a goddamn skunk." And I hung up on him.
Lord. Wow. Incredible.
He makes the baby in the eyes and I go blind.
Shit. Oh man. Okay. Got another one here from Joe Beaver II. He goes, "Hey Brad, it's hotel story time. So I had a Quality Inn down the west coast of Florida when I lived down there years ago. Of course, it was a Patel motel, and they had a standard Quality Inn building, but also behind it, they had a little 12-room building that they used as hourly. And anybody they thought looked scummy, they'd put them back there. Both were on contract, but I always made him go open those doors. One day we were walking along, knocking doors, and we passed the windows. For one of the rooms was, lo and behold, there's a dude, not fisting, but whole arming a big old girl on the bed with the curtains wide open. Whole arming.
Damn.
Yep. Shoulder deep within the borderline.
Good Lord.
Looked like he was trying to start a lawnmower up around.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Patel lost his freaking mind. Busted the door open and kicked them out naked, literally chasing them across the parking lot, screaming at them.
Well, they paid for the hour, didn't they?
I know. I would have demanded a refund as soon as I shook that woman off my arm. Oh man. He also did a bed bug service in that same building when I flipped a mattress, and there were hundreds of Polaroids of a dude banging a blow up doll while wearing women's lingerie. Now, I have a question here. Was the dude wearing the women's lingerie, or was the blow up doll wearing the women's lingerie.
Or both.
Yeah. Hey, Beaver, get back with me on that if you would, please. Thank you for your cooperation.
And if you have the Polaroids, we want screenshots.
Yeah. He said, Patel said, the guy was a truck driver who stayed there at least once a week and always requested that room. The blow up suite. Nice.
There was no sharp edges.
Nope, no sharp edges whatsoever. Yeah. Well, Joe, thanks a lot for that story. That was awesome. And, for one thing, I'm kind of shocked that a Patel would actually do something like that because, Patels don't like to walk away from money.
No, they don't.
No. I figured, maybe, did they rent it for an hour? Did they, a whole day, a whole week? He's not going to get his money. So I don't see that happening. Anyway, one of my favorite hotels to do was one down in beautiful Seymour, Indiana, the Knights Inn. This is the kind of place where, maybe there wasn't, they had some extended stay people, some that were not extended stays, but some of the nightly stays, they got, one of their nightly rooms, they wanted me to go treat for roaches. I walk in, they've got the typical hotel room set up. Couple beds, a nightstand, got that thing over on the opposite side of the bed that's got the refrigerator and the microwave and that shit in there. I pulled that son of a bitch out and you wouldn't believe the wall of roaches. I mean, there was a perfect outline of live German cockroaches on the wall that was shaped like the back of the refrigerator.
Oh, lovely.
And it's like, I pulled that refrigerator out and they all looked up at me like, what you want to do? What you want to do? I was like, I was genuinely scared of these fuckers because they usually start running, but these guys were standing their ground.
Put the fucking fridge back.
Oh yeah, put it back, man. It sounds like it dark. But anyway, so I grabbed a can of Shockwave and meted out some justice on that. And but oh man, I couldn't believe it. It's like, and people come in and like spend a night, maybe 2 nights in this room, and this is the first we're hearing about it. And she was always the lady that worked the counter, the manager there was just always such a joy to work with because we get her scheduled for her regular service. We confirm it. We go down there. No, this is an extra service. I just have 5 rooms for you.
No.
It's like, no, son of a bitch. So my last day at the Scarlet Letter comes up. Okay. One of the ladies from the Scarlet Letter's home office calls down to the Indy branch and Schulte picks up the phone and she goes, so-and-so from Knights Inn is on the phone and she says she's got roaches really bad in the hotel and she wants to get service set up. But Schulte had been dealing with the owner of the hotel on this one. Harlan is his name. And yes, Harlan Patel. And, so we could, to get something set up a little bit more substantial and, come up with a more permanent solution to their problem. So Schulte, let the lady up at headquarters know to hang up. About 10 seconds later, she calls back up. She goes, this woman is blowing me up. Now, my district manager, Barry Fernal, is in there, and he goes, send her over to me. Well, good old Barry spent about 45 minutes on the phone, and this lady was and he didn't have her on speaker, but I could hear this broad screaming. I'm sitting there, okay, it's my last day. I'm trying to get my final inventory done, my last vehicle inspection done, so he can grab me by my pants and throw me out the door. And I'm just sitting there and I just got the biggest fucking smile on my face because it's my last day and I no longer have to deal with the Knights Inn in beautiful Seymour, Indiana. And it was a moment for me, guys. I was deeply moved at that moment, watching it be somebody else's problem. I reached into my bag of things, my personal effects that I was going to be dragging out there, and I pulled out the bottle of Advil and I set it on Barry's desk and I said, this is for you.
You're going to need it.
You are going to need it. But yeah, that's not to say I'm never going to deal with a Patel again. I mean, I'm still in the business, but sometimes the Patel you don't know is better than the Patel you know.
Oh, yeah. Just rather not know him.
Absolutely.
I was doing at the Capitol Hilton in DC. And this wasn't a filth issue at all. It was a pest issue. And this place had a maze of hallways under the hotel that had like different kitchens. They had a kosher kitchen that was all fenced in, and they'd have a rabbi come like once a month and bless everything, which is great because, figure in DC, you get a lot of people from all different nationalities coming in. So you need stuff like that. And it was right next to Rock Creek Park. Well, there was a hole in the outside foundation wall in one of the back corners of the kitchen, and this fucking raccoon managed to get in and would just run rampant down these hallways, and people were chasing it. The damn thing knew the basement better than anybody else. His ass was all over the place. And you'd hear about these signs. Oh my God, did you see it? Did you see it? And I spent 3 days trying to figure out this little bastard.
Shit.
And the thing is no one knew the hole was there because it was behind a whole bunch of those metal shelving racks full of stuff. And he'd just weasel his ass out, raccoon his ass out, and just go running rampant through these maze of hallways underneath the Capitol Hilton. Like I said, this is no shot at the Capitol Hilton. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautifully run place. The kitchen's fucking awesome. But this goddamn raccoon all over the place. And I finally found out where the hole was because I noticed a bunch more droppings in this one area. And I started pulling everything away, and I found it. And they sealed the hole up, and we just had to set traps out. They had to get all the food up and out of the way because he was getting into shit in the dry pantry and stuff. And I put a couple little things of Fancy Feast cat food, little trays in a have a heart trap, and finally got rid of him. He was a fat bastard too, because he was in that kitchen just tearing it up. It was great.
Holy shit. I gotta admire raccoons, for one thing, wherever they are, they act like they own the place. They take absolutely zero shit from anybody.
No, they don't.
And they always wash their food before they eat it.
Oh yeah. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. So
he might have been remaining halal for that kosher kitchen.
Halal. That's right. So, I got, we've been talking about, shitty conditions, shitty managers and stuff. Let's talk about a technician issue that I had. I was training this guy. We were doing a hotel, and, the guy already had his RT, his registration and whatnot. So I could approach him with a little less supervision than I would say a complete greenhorn. So we had a hotel account to do. We had a room list that was as long as my leg. So, let's kind of split it up. I'll do this side. You do that side. We'll meet at the end of the hallway type thing. Well, I'm I'm cranking these rooms out, and all of a sudden I see room doors. When I get close to the end of the hallway, I see room doors that are still open. Cause one of the things is, we always, we'd walk to the end of the hall. And as we were doing so, we would open room doors. So all we got to do when we get to the end of the hall is blam, 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 and knock them all out. When all the doors are closed, we know that floor is done. And I'm looking at his side, and I'm still seeing about 8 or 9 doors, and I'm down to I got about 2 or 3 doors myself done. And I was like, what the hell is with this guy? So I was like, did he die? I don't know. He's laying dead in the room somewhere. So I walked back up to the last open door, and I was like, Ken. And all of a sudden I hear, that guy went in there and took one of the most grinding, crippling shits. I think anybody had us, and I know it was a heavy one because when he opened the door, it damn near knocked me on the floor. This green cloud of hatred came out of this room. And I'm looking, and I look at him. I look at the bowl. Evidence still remains on the sides of the bowl. I'm like, have you lost your fucking mind? He's like, well, I had to go. I said, dude, this room is clean. And I was looking over a little strip of paper, sanitized for your protection. It was busted and laying on the floor. I was like, dude, what in the hell is your problem? This is not how this is done. So I was like, we had to do the walk of shame because I was not going to be getting that phone call at the office like an hour later when somebody they rented that room out. Somebody come up and saw smudge marks on the bowl and
you got toilet brush.
That's right. And the seal of approval is laying on the floor. So I had to go down and I just let him know I got to apologize. My guy, I told him what happened. Let's see. Stevie Patel was reasonably cool about it. So he goes, okay, we will take care of it. I leaned over. I said, I gave the guy hell. He goes, good. But he took care of it. But man, it's like, and most hotels on the first floor have a public restroom. So, and I like to think it's because they put it there so people like us, the service people, won't go in and shit in the fucking rooms. Now, some of them, I understand at some hotels that you could shit in the middle of the floor in them and nobody would notice.
No.
Oh no, this room is ready to rent. So yeah, but this was an exception. Not the best, not a 5-star joint by any means, but you gotta have some standards.
I used to do big chain hotels and do their bed bug service. And the way they had it serviced was they'd keep the room shut down for a month. We'd do the initial treatment, and even if they found one bed bug, I don't care if it was dead coming out of someone's bag, they'd shut the room down for a month. I'd do an initial treatment, and then I'd do 3 follow-up treatments over the course of that month. Well, I'd get lucky enough and have one that maybe just had one bed bug. And after a thorough inspection, flipping all the furniture, pulling all the drawers out, I wouldn't find any eggs, any of the bed bugs, but they insisted. So I appreciate the thoroughness, but it was with a company that I was fucking miserable at. So I would take that opportunity on those follow-up services to take what I'd like to call a crap nap.
What's a crap nap, Jack?
A crap nap is where you spend an inordinate amount of time till your feet fall asleep, sitting on the toilet, pooping, and playing games on your phone, whatever you're doing. It's just, I had my own little piece of solitude, and I took advantage of it in a clean hotel room, which they were going to have to go over and clean the whole thing all over and set it back up once we were done. So I wasn't going to, I wasn't pulling the safety sealed for your protection thing off, but I would take some super dumps, and I called them crap naps. You go in there and you spend an inordinate amount of time on the toilet, paying attention to your phone because you know the room's clean. You've inspected it. Took you not too long to do it. So I just sit back and poop.
Yeah, that's a good one. We call those safe havens. Where you know that you can take a nice cozy shit, and I know you're not have to worry about being disturbed by anybody because, one of the things when I say, do not come into this room for 2 hours after it's treated. That means anybody for any reason. And, you get in there and you're doing those clean outs. First thing you want to do after you turn the air conditioner down to 50, you want to take that little latch bar thing on the door and just slide it on over so nobody can come in and watch you doing the deed. And, those are great places to do them. And usually, again, the bathrooms are reasonably clean. You can and if they're not, you can always just take those little hand towels and put them around the seat. And not only are you protected, but you also have a nice cozy terry cloth thing on your.
Oh, yes.
Of course, you get up and it looks like your ass has been sandblasted from the terry cloth. You've been sitting there for so long.
Like a derriere.
But yeah, you've been there for a while, so you don't feel a thing.
From the waist down, you don't feel anything. But I had a motel service one time where, I was training a guy and he came out of this room white as a sheet. Went into the room. The person had checked out and there were condoms, bloody condoms and chicken feathers. Now, not the type of down feathers that you get in pillows if you accidentally rupture one, because those are like bleached and sanitized and stuff. These were dirty chicken feathers, like straight off the barnyard, dirty chicken feathers.
Oh no.
And they were, and bloody condoms.
Oh no.
So I at least the guy used protection, but I feel sorry for the chicken.
I think that was more of a hygiene thing than a disease protection type. Unless he was worried about bird flu or something like that. But, oh my God, Jack. That's horrifying.
Some dude was fucking chickens. I've been in enough, hooker rooms, ones with drug paraphernalia all over the place. Like I said, I had guys that would wipe their ass with the washcloths and throw them behind the toilets. And we've all had those lovely things. But this poor guy, this relatively new guy, I've been doing pest control for about a year. And I explained the services to him. He walked through a few with me. And I said, all right, go to it. And he came out and his face was as white as this tablecloth was.
Oh man.
And poor bastard.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh, man. But I don't know what the attraction is for, I've heard of people doing such things to chickens. I just don't know what the attraction is for it. So if any of you listeners out there are into that, DM me or Jack and let us know what the fuck.
Yeah. Why do you fuck chickens? I'd like to know. Disgusting individual.
Good God.
I don't know if you can send us a message anonymous, but if you don't care, hell, tell us.
The humanity. Another thing, about hotels is pack a lunch. I mean, most of these places, any of you guys, any of you people out there, when was the last time you walked into a hotel? They had the room list ready. They had the key ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
They had everything in order for you to just grab and go. No. Oh, not just no. Hell no. You're standing there looking like an idiot. I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and treat the commons, the breakfast area and stuff like that. You get all that done and still nothing. And then you've got Patel who is, I have to call the manager or I have to call the owner. And, they get on the phone and they're on the phone with him forever. And then what do? They take that phone and hand it to you because the owner wants to talk to you. And it's like every fucking time. And it just drives me nuts. They have absolutely, nobody can take the initiative. They always got to check with their boss before they can wipe their ass. And it's maddening.
I'm here for a fucking service. Give me the pass card to get through all the doors and just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just let me do it. I'll do it. I'll get out of your way. You pay your bill. And, just not, it's the hotel that I ran.
Mm-hmm.
The owner was a Patel.
Oh yeah.
So
you had to call him? But you were just like, fuck this. Here's the room.
Yeah. So motel services are the bane of most pest control person's existence. But they're a necessary evil. And you kind of learn to look the other way. And I think that's one thing that and I tell you, no one else in any other type of business can look at a picture of a nasty ass room and go, I can smell this photo.
Mm-hmm.
Than pest control guys can.
Yep, exactly. Because we know the smells. We know what's going on. We know, not only do we know, what type of bug is by the smell, but we can go into a hotel room, inhale. We could tell who got screwed in there. And we would also know their approximate age, height, and weight just by inhaling.
They had bacon for breakfast. I could smell that.
That's right. And yeah, it's that nice smoky undertone to the other, smegma funk. But yeah, I get it. Hotels are easy money, when you're from a sales standpoint, because they cycle through every fucking company known to man. And they're always going to get the best deal because they're always like, I have 8 other properties. And if you do a good job on here, I'll give you the other ones. That's known as being Pateled. They're Pateling you when that happens. It happens quite a bit. You get that, you get that hotel, you bust your ass on it. Your people in the office, the technicians are tired of the shit. The guy comes in with this service window. Oh, I can only be done between 11 and 2 on Mondays and Fridays. Oh, no, just Mondays. And, so you've got this little tiny window to get shit done. But you can't get rid of it because once again, don't walk away from money. And you're going to you've got all that shit to deal with. We get it. It's easy money, but they're a pain in the ass. And like Jack said, it's a necessary evil.
So let me tell you something.
You've been waiting all through this episode to say that.
I've been loaded for bear for that one. I have.
It's like, okay, you can now use the rest of the chair to sit on. Not just the edge.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to take a break next week.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you've got some traveling to do and I've got a lot of traveling to do. The man who makes all of our intros, he graduates next week.
Woohoo!
So I'm going to be busy next week with that. And, then the week after that, I might have to arrange how we record because I'm going to be in New York City.
That's right. New York City!
Get a rope.
Yeah.
But, I'll be taking my boy to New York City for his graduation present. I will take my laptop. I'm sure there's a way we can make that work one way or the other. I got to figure out what days I'm going to be there and how we're going to make that happen. But next week we're going to take a break because we've got some things on the docket to handle.
Exactly. Life is getting in the way.
Really do like some suggestions for episodes coming up, what you want to listen to. I think we ought to do a bed bug one. I think we can get a lot of good bed bugs.
Oh, definitely. I think a bed bug one would be a great idea.
But yeah, we've been doing, we're like 35 total episodes or 30, mid 30s, high 30s for all the shows we've done since the very beginning.
Oh, wow.
So,
we're prolific as fuck. What can we say?
But we love ideas for episodes. And, if you got some good stories and you want to be a guest on the show, we can definitely do that too.
Oh, no question.
I think probably when we come back, I'm going to try to get my office manager, Shelly. We'll do an evening with Shelly.
Oh, that would be great.
About all the Donnie and Marie's that we her and I both, I was the branch manager.
Yeah.
And she was my office manager for the Donnie and Marie, and she hated them just as fucking much as I did.
Yeah.
So we're going to get her on for a show.
Mm-hmm.
I think we ought to do like a round table with, old school pest control guys and just have, like when you go to a convention and all the old school guys are off at one corner just bitching and moaning and talking about the way things work.
Just like throw a mic in the middle of them and let it happen.
Just let it go.
Yeah, that's great.
I think we ought to do that.
We'll even serve them pizza.
I mean,
second annual pizza party.
That'd be a great idea. Yeah. And just, no specific topic, just banter.
Just old fucks bitching about things.
Yeah. And we ought to do one for termite guys too. Cause I tell you, you can go into a room full of pest guys and you can pick out the termite guys.
Yeah.
There's a whole different aura that those guys put out.
Yeah. My only concern is getting them all together in one room without them trying to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they are kind of aggro. That's for sure.
Crowd. Yeah. But you guys, you guys, thank you very much for listening to us. We really appreciate it. It's really given Jack and I, some way to keep us off the bell towers.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. For
sure. You guys played a major role in that. So there's people out there that you don't know and I don't know that are alive today because of your listening. So, we really appreciated all the support that you've given us. Once again, from the lovely and Palacious Cool Font Resort in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, on behalf of Tales from the Crawl Space podcast, Pest Control Humor Depot on Facebook, everybody bug the hell off.
Bug off.
Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawlspace Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.